Hi guys, today I'm going to read What Exactly is Time? Calendars. This is your first assignment in the calendar project, and so I'm going to go through the first couple sections of the reading and leave you to look into how the different ancient calendars. So let's get started. Calendars. A calendar is a system for organizing days and specifying dates, as well as the physical device, whether paper or electronic, used to record such a system. Calendars have historically been designed for social, religious, agricultural, commercial, or administrative purposes, or a combination of all of these. A calendar can also be extended into the future and used as a reminder of future planned events. Calendar and date organization. Calendar divisions are based on the movement of the Earth and the regular appearance of the sun and the moon, and the calendar typically works by dividing time up into units of days, weeks, months, and years. Most of these units are based on objectively verifiable astronomical cycles, although the use of weeks within a calendar is purely an administrative convenience and is not tied to any astronomical cycle. Any calendar system also needs to have a starting or reference point, sometimes referred to as a fiducial epoch or just epoch. We'll just call it an epoch, for which to begin counting. For example, the old Roman calendar used the assumed founding date of the city of Rome. Widely used modern Gregorian calendar uses the supposed date of the birth of Christ. The Hebrew calendar uses the estimated date of the creation of the world, etc. A particular date or the occurrence of a particular event can then be specified with reference to these unit divisions that starting reference point. A variety of standard date formats are used, differing in the order of the date components. Component separators, whether the leading zeros are included, whether all the 4 digits of the year are written, and whether the month is represented by numerical or by name, etc. There are a couple different ways. You can see here this one goes, let's see, this is day, month, year. This one goes year, month, day. And this one goes month, day, year. Types of calendars. Almost all calendars divide up their days into months and years, but exactly how they do so varies. Most calendars synchronize their periods with the cycle of the sun or the moon, or both. Although some ancient Egyptian calendars appear to have been synchronized to the motion of the planet Venus and or the dog star Sirius, because of the period of the moon does not neatly match the period of the sun, no calendar can be truly based on both. So a choice must be made, often incorporating a periodic adjustments in order to match the two, a trade-off between the accuracy and convenience. The main types of calendars. Solar calendars, ergo the Parisian calendar and the Gregorian calendar, is synchronized to the apparent motion of the sun over the year and thus remains in line with the annual seasonal changes. It makes no attempt to match the changes in the moon, and the division into months is purely nominal, which means just numeric. Lunar calendars, ergo the Islamic calendar, is synchronized to the phases of the moon. Because a lunar month is not an even fraction of the year, a purely lunar calendar tends to drift against the season, which means over time they get off matching the seasons with the months. Luni-solar calendars, ergo the Hebrew calendar and the Hindu calendar, is based on the combination of both lunar and solar reckonings. Months are based on lunar months, but years are based on the solar years, in which most years have 12 months, but every second or third year has 13, including a leap month, in order to realign with the annual seasons. Intercalations. The insertion of additional leap days or leap months into some calendar years in order to synchronize the calendar to the seasons or moon phases is called an intercalation or embolism. In the case of a lunar and lunisolar calendars, the months known as lunar months and synodic months approximate the cycle of the moon's phases as a period of about 29.5 days, for which many lunar calendars usually alternating months of 29 and 30 days. However, because a lunar month is not an even fraction of a year, there is about 12.37 lunar months in a year. A purely lunar calendar tends to drift against the seasons unless adjusted periodically, such as by adding a leap month every 2 or 3 years to correct for that. In the case of a solar calendar, the months are fractions of the tropical or solar year, i.e. the length of time the sun takes to return to the same position in the cycle of the seasons as seen from Earth. Even with a solar calendar, though, the number of days in a year is not an exact whole number, approximately 360.242, so that a system of adding an extra leap day every 4 years, leap years, is instituted in many solar calendars or more complex variations thereof. All right, next section is on ancient calendars. I'm going to read the first couple paragraphs and then just name some of the ancient systems. Ancient people used the apparent motion of the celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, and the planets, and the stars through the sky to determine the seasons, a length of the months, and the length of a year. Many early civilizations developed calendars independently. The oldest known calendar is a lunar calendar discovered near the town of Creager in Scotland, which dates to around 8000 BCE, which is before the Common Era. It consists of 12 pits and an arc of 54 meters long that seems to correspond with 12 lunar months, plus an added correction to bring the calendar back to sync with the solar year on the date of the winter solstice. The megalithic standing stones of Stonehenge in southern England began around 3100 BCE and rebuilt and added many times over the succeeding 1,500 years served various purposes, one of which was the determination of seasonal or celestial events such as lunar eclipses and solstices, etc. This is over here is a picture of Stonehenge. Now I'm just going to go through and name some other ancient systems. The Sumerian system, followed by the Babylonian system, followed by the ancient Egyptian calendar, the ancient Hebrew Jewish calendar, the ancient Mayan calendar, the ancient Chinese calendar, the ancient Greek calendar, the Islamic calendar. Down here we have the Roman, Julian, Gregorian calendars. These are all calendars that lead up to the Gregorian, which is the calendar we use today. And so there have been other changes throughout history, all of which explain why the calendar we use today looks the way it does, with the names of the days, months, and years, and leap years, and all of that. Please use this for answering the questions and use it over again. It will be a good resource for your project. Thanks, you guys. I hope you found this somewhat interesting, because the way I do, and have an awesome day.